Most of us have different definitions on what dating is and courtship. Some will also go to a step ahead to say betrothing. Now, what is all this? I'm sure you're probably asking yourself, wait, am I dating? Am I courting? Am I the other third wheel? Welcome to the discussion. My name is Sama Umangi. We are going to talk about courting versus dateship, and we'll also get to look at what is betrothing. And to help me further this discussion is a friend of mine, a musician to be specific, Sam Boya. Vipi?
Safi.
Kofiti.
Iko safi.
Since the last time I saw you.
Yes, that was the 10 days of prayer, I guess.
Yes.
Good.
Sana.
Nice.
Next to him is a friend of mine. We were alluding to her last week on last week's discussion. Yvonne.
Yes.
Mambo.
Poa.
Karibu kwa discussion.
Asante.
Should I say
What?
that?
Mimi sijui unasema we.
Ngoja utaniruka in public. Kabisa.
Please. See, you're the boss, sasa sisi ni members, sasa lazima nikuaibishe kidogo.
I thought tumeokoka, so utasema ukweli tu.
Nimeokoka, Yesu ni Bwana.
Amen.
And I don't know what you're talking about.
Tutajua hiyo. Next to me is also a good friend of mine, tuna compete kila siku na Ankara. Bwana Riri.
Hi Mangi.
Ni aje?
Poa sana.
How have you been?
I've been fine.
Lazima tutupigane tukumpe.
Si kumpe lakini tunashukuru Ankara.
Tunashukuru Ankara.
Tunashukuru.
Keeping it African.
Kabisa.
Karibu sana. Next to her is a friend of mine also. In our last discussion, I introduced him as my father due to tulikuwa na KU na we are still yet to decide where we are at Elder Eden Makumba. Karibu.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm fine.
Uko smart yawa. Hey. Karibu sana.
Nashukuru Mungu.
Now we're going to talk about dating versus courtship. Again, interact with us on social media platforms. Facebook, on Facebook is Hope Channel Kenya, and on Twitter is @Hope_Kenya. Also find me on Facebook, that is Sama Umangi, and on Twitter @Sami Mangi. You also have other social media platforms. If you will miss this or the previous editions on YouTube, our YouTube channel is Hope Channel Kenya. You can also find this edition also on our website, that is www.hck.co.ke. Now, dating versus courtship. Sam, ushai date?
Kudate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ushai court?
Yes.
Ushai court?
Kukot. Naweza sema unajua umenishtua kwanza, acha ni load, but in this sense kudate yes, kukot in the process
of. So are you courting or not? In the process you're getting there.
Niko kwa self realization mode.
Amen. Yes, hiyo maneno self realization hiyo tutajua tu in a few.
Definitely.
Now Yvonne, yes. Is there a difference between dating and courting? Because for me it sounds like this is dating, this is courtship.
It depends on how you look at it and on which perspective you're using. If you're using Hollywood or you're using what we are trained in church, basically about courting and dating. Dating, personally, I believe it's just getting to know someone. I can decide to go on a date with him. I can decide to go on a date with Elder. Tukae chini tukule, ninamjua tu. But
so
courting, that is a date for me.
See meeting?
See meeting.
Okay.
Muli book time, place, unalewa. That's a date. Book a date with me.
Why will you go to such an extent if I just want to get to know you?
Saa zingine
why go to all that extent? See,
saa zingine naweza taka kukujua tu as a person more. Na siwezi kukujua ukiimba kwa kwaya tu pale mbele.
Jua me as a person.
Yeah. Generally, saa zingine kuna vitu zingine wezi niambia kama tumekaa kwa kwaya ama tumekaa kwa youth, or if we are seated in a crowd, maybe I'd love to go somewhere and sit down with you and actually get to know you as a person. However, courting, according to my definition, is basically taking someone with the expectation of getting married at the end of it. As in akunati courting haphazard things, let's get to know each other and then we dump each other, and then when you get to the extent of courting, it's a place whereby you have your end game is basically marriage?
Bonareri.
Yes.
I might be wrong at this, but then if you are pursuing a lady, see, basically you're pursuing her to get to know her and eventually marry her.
That is not the case for everyone, unfortunately, because there are people who are just there, they want to just know you, just have fun with you, go out, yeah, but there are others now who are intentionally courting you or intentionally going out with you with the objective of ultimately marrying you.
Can you say you're dating while you're in a courtship, Elder? Can you say you're dating while you're in a courtship?
Use of language has always brought issues, and
should we stick to our mother language so that we can further this conversation? But then God, you continue.
no, we get there, we will personalize things. Now, dating while courting. Want to agree with the other friends that for sure moving out and getting to know somebody, it's very important. And you in the process, you see, it is very evident. And as I always think, and as I always believe, as it is written in the Bible, you may not get to know, or you may not get to realize when this one is beginning, but there are key elements that marks the transition from now, because you have known this person. Now there is that transition, so that you can now move to the next step. So dating, of course, begins, and then there are some elements which I'll speak later that will usher us into the next step.
So you can't date while courting, Yvonne? Kwa sababu with using a definition ulisema dating ni ku...
Personally, I think you can even go on dates even if you're married.
Okay, now that wait. That leads me to ask a question like this. Hey, wait, Yvonne unakuja vibaya sana. Is it wrong to have multiple dates? Please speak from experience. If you have one,
Multiple.
yes, as
dates.
in, I'm dating Bona, I'm dating Yvonne, I'm dating Oguda, our camera person.
I want to put it in this perspective that to know what dating is, I would like my fellow friends to help, because it's a matter of intent.
Dating.
Yes,
Dating or courtship?
both.
Because using her definition. Oh wait, what's your definition of dating?
I was first of all referring to what Bona said on courtship. You take someone intentionally with an idea to marriage, yes, but dating as well always has an intent. Based on a definition on dating, my intent was to know the person. That was my intent. So based on the intention someone has, it is now able to give us a bearing on the broader definition we need to know concerning what is dating and what is courtship. Somebody might perceive dating to be like the normal geography, whatever people say at carbon dating and stuff like that, but I know that can't happen. That was on a light note, but kitu ninasema is on dating, basically it's something that has various elements which he was hiding. Number one, it's time. Number two, it's the intent or the intentions that you have. And number three, what comprises the action of dating or courtship. So that is basically the bearing of what we can use as part of our discussion, if you can beg to agree or disagree with me.
I beg to disagree and still go back to my question.
Yes.
Can
Which you know
have a
probably
multiple
nililenga tu
dating
kiasi.
Yes, I did.
Uh-huh.
Which is still go back to it.
Yes.
Can somebody have multiple dates?
Can somebody have multiple dates?
Like I can date A, B, C, D all at a go.
Based
It's
on,
possible.
yes, listen. Based on Yvonne's definition, you know, I'm
Let us stick to your
I'm
understanding.
clinging
No,
to
sir,
something, yes?
Let's talk with the definition.
Yes. My definition of dating. You go on with someone with the intent of knowing them. And definitely in my circle of friends in life, I would love to know every other person that impacts my life, whether be it positively or negatively.
So you'll date all of them.
So I definitely will date all of them.
So for you, in your book in your book, it's I can date everyone and anyone at any time.
Yeah. And actually note this, wanasemanga NB, my intent of dating is to know them.
Okay. So have you dated?
Yes, I have.
Okay, good. Sasa Yvonne.
Mbona kila saa ukisema jina yangu unacheka?
Juu last week, sasa juu, not have put me on, I have to say this. Yvonne, when I'm a maso, ni nini na mamaso?
What?
You have to tell us.
Maso?
Hiyo lazima tu.
People are talking about lust, attraction and all those things. Some of us are attracted to muscles.
Say nini?
Hey.
One of the greatest bodybuilders, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hakuna wengine wanashtua.
Jenga. Alafu says if you just see his photo.
Kuna watu wanashtua. There are others that are too huge. Me, I'm not talking about muscle. I'm talking about something, something modest, proportional.
Sawa.
Yes.
Is there a need to define the relationship as you're dating? Define what it is as you're dating someone.
As you're dating someone, to define a relationship that you're having, I don't think you have to define it immediately. Because you're trying to learn this person, you don't just go ahead and say, okay, day one, umeenda amekuonyesha a very good side of her. Perfect. Hiyo ndio siku yenye hata mnaweza discuss Biblia nini. Yani just a perfect person and decide, hey, from this day one, this is going to be my wife. No. Don't define it. According to me, don't define it immediately. Take time. Have a number of dates, because there are things like, they are called group dating. You get to learn this person more. See that person around the family. See that person around their friends. You'll get to understand the personality of this person and the character of this person, so that you know if you want to define what you're having with this particular person.
Sam, kuna kitu nakuwasha.
Inamwasha.
Na sio
ninaumia tu mahali hapa na si point. I want us to look at alikuwa anasema ameguzia some elements of knowing someone. Sindio? Now we have dating and friendship based on the point yenye ameguzia. Cause I can still want to know my friends. But now where do I strike that difference between that kudate? Cause unajua tunasonga tunaniacha unasikia? Cause unapata vitu kama hizi zenye obviously ukisema you want to know your friend more, sindio? And then unajua madem obviously atakwambia kuna elder zone, brother zone, kadhalika hizo zones zote zi ukuja unapata. So get this, so kuna kitu ama is there a balance we can strike between dating or friendship? Because if I need to have a friend as well, I need to know them, so I can also date my friends to know them. So can you guys help me strike this difference? Because as much as I'm also on a journey to self-realization. No one is perfect, but true. We are attaining that level of perfection with time.
Because also something that will come out of it, kwa sababu ladies will say, no, Sam, you led me on, elder.
Thank you so much. Allow me to begin from your question. Okay. Is it good to have multiple dates? And I think I want to speak as a man.
Defend the boy child. Mama strong. See, mama strong.
I want to speak as a man. Number one, I tend to believe the way I am made is the same way that Mboya is made. And that cuts across, it brings about the universal nature of men. That at one single point, I may not find myself in a group with young people or with young ladies and tend to imagine that at all the time we are studying the Bible. That may not be practical. You see, let me say what is actually people are hiding.
What you're going through.
Not what I'm going through.
But it's okay.
Not someone else. Remember I said I'm speaking as a man. Because each and every point whenever people meet, when you spot somebody, you know, always quickly, there is this danger I want to highlight before I respond to that question. Somebody has always imagined how you're going to get married, how you're going to drive, and you know those things, imaginations. And you realize it has not happened. You know, you have killed your future. You become your own martyr. I don't know, self-martyrdom. Are you getting something? And so, when you move out with people, number one, what are you going to discuss? What are you saying? Because as people move, as we have social events, as we relate, and even as we are seated here, I can call this one a date because we are doing a very special program. So I want us to really distinguish this, because I remember when I was in university, we could move out for social Sundays, we move for Sabbath outs. Now, can you call those dates?
Nature Sabbath.
Nature Sabbath, like
Nature
last week.
walk.
Nature walk. You know, look at those things. And, you know, young people are very sensitive. And we are always, we are made in a way that we tend to be living in bad news. I don't know, everybody. It's so easy to believe in bad news than in good news. And so even as we discuss this, I know somebody will pick a point and say, oh no, those people on TV said, even taking lunch with our family, that is dating. No, please, that is extremism.
So now, Sam,
kuna kitu hapa. You know, we are overlying the fact that we are utilizing ourselves to be able to say something that affects us. Yeah, in school obviously, I have experienced it with my friends. So there is this guy and lady, they definitely walk together,
all
take lunch together, they hold hands. Like wherever you see Nani, you must obviously see someone next to them. As in Noskia, when it's time for class, they escort each other to class, bearing the fact that time is present. And then when you ask them, hey, what's happening? Ati, we are dating. You get? we are dating. In fact, actually, yeah. So that person's perspective of dating, how are we relating it to what I said on my dating perspective of intent? How can we able to draw that line? Because when they are able to even escort each other to rooms and go and have lunch together, enjoy supper together, or even eat and walk together holding hands, and if they are not nini, they feel that they are dating. Yes.
I want to bring Yvonne in, and also please shed light on this, because I feel in a way we are kind of merging the two, but we need to separate them and get really to know what is this. Now, Yvonne, we can't say that nakudate alafu nisema you're just a friend, because basically nakubro zone. Basically kama naku sister zone ama ni elder zone. I can't call that a date. Sindio? So now please, could you answer that question and just look for your meaning or definition of dating so that you can progress?
Truth be told, the way we've grown up, we've understood dates are about going out, dressing up. Sana unapata vitu kama dinner. You come, you pick me up from their house in a limousine.
Movie.
In a movie. You know, I have to dress up for this. I have to go do my hair, my makeup, my nails, and all those things. Yeah. And after that, you escort me home, you kiss me goodnight, and I remain feeling, I was on a date. I was on a date. That's unfortunately what we have been brought up knowing.
Which is not what our parents thought, it's what the movies thought.
Yes.
Hollywood, thanks.
Hollywood, thank
and
you.
Hollywood. And soap opera.
Zote, as in
and Afro cinema.
We have lived in a life of looking for Alejandro in Makori. As in the things that you see in TV, that's what you bring in and you decide that's the way to date. But honestly speaking, as I said from the beginning, according to me, dating is just getting to know the other person, period.
So, when I go out with Bonareri, so am I dating her?
You can go out to get to know her. Why are you going out with her anyway?
Why should I go out with her? Si tuko hapa situonge.
Sasa vitu zenye unataka kumuuliza Bonareri, utamuuliza mbele ya elder.
Nitamvuta tu kando. Anyway, well, that is not dating. But yes. What I will correct me if I'm wrong, and please interact with us and tell us what you think about this. You can't date everyone, but you can date everyone. You can't date everyone, I can't date everyone as in now at the same time.
Yes.
But I can date everyone at a particular time. Of which now this will now, if you put the question of intent, I can't take you out and just tell you you're a friend. I'm just basically hurting your feelings. So let us just say this. Wait, so tukakule. For me and my men, it's a date.
Yes.
But then so let me not qualify it a date for you. So in that case, you can be able to protect the girl child and say, Samia can lead on. And that question of leading on.
Yeah, you had asked if it is important to define a relationship. I'll say it is very important. It is very important because, you see, as a lady, there are some instances where you have maybe a guy friend. He's here. He wants to take you out. At where are you? Where are you? Yeah, all these good things. Yeah. Where are you this weekend? I'm free. Okay, let's go out to Java. Where are you next weekend? He's always doing some nice things to you. On your birthday, he surprises you. He buys you all these gifts, but he's not telling you what he wants.
Apple, it is just
She's
a friend.
just a friend.
No.
That is actually leading on.
He is leading you on, and he's telling you nothing. Yeah.
So no, he's just a gentleman. He's a gentleman.
No. You're not the only lady in his life. Or is he giving you special favors?
Unajaje niwe peke yako?
Hey.
24/7.
He has sisters.
Am I gone off? Because you'll find people just say, I'm generally nice. I want to do these things to my friend. You're not the only person.
To go alone.
No, you're not the only friend.
Why have you picked on me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Si wewe peke yako. Kuna wengine lakini ile sana ile unotisinga wengine juu.
Aki, tafadhali msilemee boy child sana. Let me come to the rescue. Let us put it in this perspective. Yes, it is good to define, but look at it in this case. I am afraid of the outcome of defining my relationship because of the case of the people I do call submarines.
Aya, hold it right there. Hold it right there. Sasa hapo kwa submarine, soja tuende tu break na hiyo talent. I see the boy child here about boy child. If you're watching, please tell us what you think on our social media platforms. See boy child peke yao, girl child. Tell us what you think. Our social media handles are right here. Facebook is Hope Channel Kenya, and on Twitter is at Hope_Kenya. Find me on Facebook, Samuel Mangi, and on Twitter at Sami Mangi. Tell us what you think as we go in this short break.
I went to a farmer and we had a little chat. I asked him how I could grow healthy plants. Do I just add a little manure and water each day? He said, first you must know that you are just a sower. You plant the seed, but there is another way that waters each day. Sends the worm to the swell the grain. The water in the river comes from the rain. If you want your seed to grow through the floods and through the snow, this one thing you must know, he must rain. I went to a doctor. We sat under some trees, and I asked the secret to being free from disease. Do I become a vegan, exercise lots, and drink plenty of water? He said, these are important, but still not enough. You'll be safe from seeing me, but there's another doctor you'll need. Heals the wounds deep in your heart. His blood can surely cleanse every sin. If you want a healthy life through the floods and through the snow, this one thing you must know, he must reign. I'm a musician. I just love to sing. And if you will ask me how I learned to sing, whether it's talent or I went for training or got some procedure done, oh friends, there's nothing I can boast of, because I know that when I stand to sing, I'm just a mouthpiece of the Lord. If you want the sweetest voice, make the Lord your only choice. Through the floods and through the snow, this one thing you must know, he must reign.
Boy child, girl child. Karibu tena kwetu. We are still on The Identity. The show is The Identity again. Interact with us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Hope Channel Kenya, and Twitter at Hope_Kenya. Tulikuwa tumetesa boy child hapa na Sami was coming to the rescue on defining the relationship. And in defining, putting in mind to the submarines. Endelea.
Yeah. Okay. Submarining.
Kuna mtu ajui submarine.
By the way, submarine ni notion ya kutumia nyambizi. You know how a submarine works. But in real sense,
Komempoteza yani.
wacha niweke plain to her. I don't define what this is. Someone comes in and define what it is and ends up with a piece of cake.
Yani you are flowering the nini alafu mtu akuja kana.
So wewe uko busy umebake umengangana kunini which na hauja declare tuna bake cake na mtu anakuja ana declare hiyo cake kai imetoka Black Forest ikikuwa sawa. So this is basically what happens is sometimes in defining a relationship, yes, it is right for one for you to be able to protect that which you have fought hard for, and number two, for you to be able to make other people aware of your intentions. Because I might be a boy child, yes, but there is a girl child who is always trying her way and ifurahishe, but simply because I literally haven't yet declared, she still is clinging on the hopes that she will someday get an opportunity or chance.
Umeleta kitu ngine nataka kuuliza Elder, by the way, no, in this dating and courtship, who is the pursuer? Who is the hunter? Just as imefika ile time yenye tunasema, no, we are all equal, not me. Some circles have gone ahead to say we are all equal. You know what a man can do,
a woman can do better.
Sijasema Elder. So now in that school of thought, will I be wrong sema, so since you are all equal, si basi unikujie.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much. The first thing is that we are in a state of where things are changing quite fast, but we cannot deviate from the right path. How we have always to go back to the genesis of all these things. Whenever we see a challenge, even in the current world, we always have to go back to the genesis. Where is the beginning? Because what is the intention of the creator? Before even we go far, because we want to make somebody understand what we are really talking about. What is the intention of what we are discussing? What was in the mind of the creator? When I was created, when this glass was made, what was the mind of the creator? Purpose is always very important. And as we check on how even nature relates, it is always important that and before I respond to your question, whatever we are discussing is not meant for boys and girls. The intention of the creator is revealed in the word. It is meant for men and women. I think we shall be divining who is a man and who is a woman, even as we are talking about dating and courtship. Because a young boy, a young girl somewhere will get us wrong and they start moving all over and say, those people, they justified. So we have to really clear cut these things so that we help the set. The first thing is that boys and girls, let them go to school, let them serve God, wasome wamalize. Of course, having friends.
No, that's
right,
the different
there is
case.
no problem. What I'm trying to say is that not all of us who understand purpose. And I said we come from various backgrounds. So I cannot grow up in the suburb of Kisii and try to behave like somebody who has been brought up in Nairobi. You know, in Nairobi there is a lot of exposure. But in the village there is no exposure. And so I cannot try to put it. Let me answer your question. Now, who is the pursuer? Automatically, it's a man.
Automatically, no. Nani? Bona. How? Let me bring in Bona. When I said what a man can do,
A woman can do better.
so if you can do better, you pursue. If you can do better,
Your story. It's okay. Yeah, we can do better. I mean, senior. But that is not the ideal. Like, we're not supposed to, because if it's like you're throwing yourself at this guy, yeah, and it is not proper. So let this guy pursue. Yeah, there is
Kama ashiki
By the bona sasa upate tu mimi hapa ni kombe tu maziwa mala sishika yani mi tu ni job sasa isn't it
In high school we had what we called spectator ions. Walikuwa wana increase rate of reaction ama wana decrease without participating in the reaction itself. Asa ndio kitu tunafanya. Kwa the ladies kidogo nataka tu kuiweka in this sense. The ladies, of course, yes, it is the nature of God that man pursues the lady. But in a case where we have slackness for probably reasons zenye tunaweza discuss later, for example, I can use this example. I had a father, or I did not have a father figure who taught me or could teach me how to do things right, or how to get a lady and how to kumwaga mistari, sindio? So if such like things came as a disadvantage and I seem so naive and I don't know what to do, then a lady can, yes, aid the process but not do the process itself. Kwani. So ninaiweka in this sense, skia, as in kuna hints sometimes mzali kwa ananiambia hakuna tabu siku moja hata mkiwa church during lunch umeleta tu sahani mmekaa pamoja hapo mnakula. Basically hint
kwani
puzzle words games
wena hata kwa sokole maboy hizi vitu lazima mtu uwe kwani is it possible ulikuwa na mtu akona hiyo shida yenye huni kabisa?
Imagine it's
yeah, definitely. Kidogo kabla Ivona shike mic, let me just say something. Most of the times they tell men to act like men, sindio? Ama be a man. But what if you are not taught how to be one?
Yvonne.
Another person's definition of a man can be different.
Yvonne, huyu mwenye aoni misioni how as in uli grow kuna sakole maboyo wakakuchocha and all this you should have gone through, because right now I don't know if there's a father someone anasema sasa this is how you go to get a lady. Unamuona, I'm sure kuna, I'm very sure. Imagine, and if you are please niambie kwa social media.
Imagine there's a friend of mine who wrote in the bathroom kwa washroom alikuwa ameandika the way to failure is getting married. Yes, the way to failure is getting married. Huyu ni jamaa, he's successful, very successful. Akifika church, chorister. Akikaa na watu ni youth leader, ako tu sawa. Lakini when it comes to women, ashkanishi, he believes inside him hiyo ni ligi ingine. But what I want to believe is sidhani ako na calling ya Paul. Because he likes hanging out ladies and all that, but isifike hiyo level ya relationship. No, hataki kitu kama hiyo. And you know such people, personally, na si yeye peke yake, there are some people who actually just don't see it. They are so occupied in their jobs, they are willing to make millions, create mansions, and something to do with the relationship is not part of them. Na unapata kuna mwanamke anaumia. Seriously, anasema
explain your topic iko na wewe ngoja
kuna mahali I can say that probably hata sisi we do fail kidogo, and then I want us to just get to this conclusion. We are just hitting it, but I want to put it this way. Yes, you are behaving like a man. There are some of us who've been taught, or some of people who have been taught, that behaving like a man is getting that lady, using her, and dump her. And that can be a definition to someone of dating. I get her, I use her, I dump her, then I go to another person.
In this case,
yes.
In this case, now I think it's now proper for us to draw the line on dating and courtship. Which is proper, Bona?
I believe to court someone is the proper thing. Yeah, don't just joke around with people's feelings or just pass time with them. But as some said, the intent that you have towards this person is one of the most important things. If you have bad intentions, definitely you want to use that person and get rid of them. Yeah, but if you have proper intentions, you will be even willing to even seek out their parents' consent, even be willing to pray over it to God if this is actually His will, and even pursue her to the end.
Elder. So the hakuna kitu kama hakuna kitu I just want to date. Sio nataka kuoa. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. If it's the having fun mentality.
Okay, now number one, I think I was not created for fun, and I was not created out of fun. I mean, God was not joking with mad, and I came as a product.
Hey, umekunywa maji by the way.
I mean, I'm not a product of chance. You know, there is these worst witchcrafts, and I call it witchcrafts, that I'm a product of chance. How?
Hakuna kitu kama hiyo.
Never. And so, let us not do things out of chance, or for chance. And then not
Which that will be dating.
Yes. And you know somebody's taking chances, buying time, wasting time. It is because you don't understand. Now, listen. It's because you don't understand where you are coming from, where you are, and where you're going. And that is the worst deception that is getting so many young people. We don't know where we came from. We don't know where we are. We don't know, we don't even know where we are going. And that is why they are, now, I call those ones situationships. You are in so many situationships. Until I don't know, a circle, you form a circle, a situationship circle. And another thing is that how, let me say how. There are two things that we are looking for. I didn't actually get so serious, but
in 30
seconds, there are two things that we are looking for. Number one, it is life and peace. And these things first, we have to go to God first. You know, let's go to the Creator and ask Him, why was I created? I'm not a product of chance. And so this joking that young people are doing here and there, carelessly, without and yes, now that we call that one trifling with the heart.
Yes.
And elsewhere I read it is a sin of no small magnitude. Yes, Jesus did not die for somebody, and I'm there trifling with that person. Yes. So we must always get things right. So courtship, before courtship, I was to call an engagement. Of course, you have known this person. You try to engage on now those matters about marriage, not boys and girls. Yes. Get me right. So that after you have engaged and you have checked on the qualities and that which is needed, you can now yes.
Sam. So, are you telling me kuna mtu mwenye haezi pursue courtship? Is everybody eligible candidate for courtship?
Every other person, I can put it in this sense, people are always groomed to be what they would want to be it by parents, environment, life in itself can groom people to be what they need to be. But I told you, it all boils down to the intent. Sometimes by chance, or not by chance but by will, I would love to work for God, and I might see courtship to marriage, or even marriage in itself, as something that can make me not serve my God as I would will to do it. So I would choose to work for God and focus everything on Him who's the author and finisher of my faith. So that in itself can bar me from being a candidate to courtship. I have to
you're
bring
saying you can be of the calling of Paul.
Yes.
To marry.
Yes.
So with that reason, not everybody is a candidate, is eligible for. Probably another reason, Yvonne.
There are some people who are not eligible for courting, people who are young,
Define
like
young.
Teenagers. You're not sure if you're going to marry this person. An
Sasa,
adolescent,
kuna ule mwenye atasema
emotions ziko kila mahali.
Kuna ule mwenye atasema I saw my wife when I was in Form 2.
Do you know that is like 0.0001% of successful relationship from childhood? 99.99999% haita work, because as an adolescent you're not mature enough to make the decision that I want to marry this person. Do you have the, as a man you're supposed to be a provider, do you have the money and the resources to take care of this person that you want to marry. And as in, have you grown? Have you done the things that you're supposed to do? For example, education. Have you finished with what you're supposed to do before you start bringing up a family?
So-
Can a 13-year-old and a 12-year-old bring up a child soberly?
So let me get this right, huh? For you to pursue courtship, because before I even get to that, let me get this clear. Are we ruling out the aspect of dating, Bona? Are we ruling out the role that dating has to play in the wholesome making of a family or a proper relationship?
Intent. That is the word.
Are we ruling out dating?
Yeah,
Intent be it or not?
Okay, we are not ruling it out entirely.
Does it have a role to play?
It has a role to play. However, as majority of the Christians will let you understand that in dating, in most cases, people are doing wrong things. That is what makes dating wrong. People are doing wrong things in dating. People are pursuing people, just to maybe have sex with them and later on leave them, or just have fun and just go out there and tell your boys, tushamalizana nae, and such kinds of things. However, it can be of good advantage when you are seeing someone, getting to know them. You can actually get interested at the end of the day and want to marry that person.
So it's all about how it's being used.
Yes.
It's about how it's getting used.
Now, can I say that the world, or rather what you've been brought up to, thanks to Hollywood and all these things, has described dating as a bad thing with the way it's used?
Yeah, the way it's used, it is very wrong currently.
So it is a good thing in the quest to know somebody so as you can be able to court them.
Yeah.
So that it can lead to marriage.
Yes.
The usage is important. Elder.
Yeah, thank you so much, and I want to respond in a very brief way. It's evident, we have overgrown boys and girls, even at 40s, you see, while
Overgrown boys ni vile na reason
overgrown, I mean, lack of the true aspect of education that we need, that will fit us for this life and the life to come, that is heaven. And so when we talk about dating, I want to say that we can rule it out. I'm speaking from the society that I'm in. I can't encourage boys and girls who have not even, who are only seeing things happen and they don't understand why they happen,
and how they are done,
to just move along and do these jokes. Let them be restrained. We challenge the parents. Let them be good stewards. And then the last thing is that I'm supposed to be a steward. God has given us resources to take care of. If I'm being given a Bible, I must take care of this Bible. And so I cannot misuse it. I can use it at the right time and, of course, for the right purpose.
Something that should also come out properly is that right now in our day and age, we cannot really encourage the high school dating in the mind that utafikia hiyo time. Asa, that case happened in our... But right now, with the changes that have happened, we can't really say now. We now encourage ama tulenge tuseme, since you're in high school, ni sawa tu. Your uncle alioa hivyo, no. So if you're a student back at home, high school, I'm not going to speak about university students. But you get the point. Soma, maliza, be a man, and I think there are a lot of things to look at when you're a man, not the fact that you have been made as a man, if you know what I mean, isn't it? Not the fact because you've been made, now you think you're a man. There are a lot of other things that comprises to be a man and to be able to pursue a woman, or rather pursue courtship. Now that we have ruled out courtship. Oh, dating.
Yes.
Now, I also want to bring you in, and now let's talk about the harmful effects of what dating can bring on board.
Dating, one, most of the time there are two people. They don't want to listen to what other people out there think about them. It's just us, me and Elder against the world. If your parents tells you If your parent tells you, no, that guy is not okay, that I don't like that lady's character and all, you're like, apana mom, I think he's the perfect guy for me. Wendo hujamjua. Or if people tell you, even if his friends or people who know him tell you that this guy, apana, you're like, but he has changed. Huh? But he has changed. But at the end of it all, you realize that, oh no, this guy is just still the same person. So just be careful and involve God and involve your parents early enough. Yeah, don't wait. Even the Bible says, in the beginning, God. So right from the beginning, when you are planning to have someone as a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a husband or a wife, involve God.
You can't have a husband before a boyfriend. So
Yes.
Anyway, it's okay. Now I'm inclined to ask this. Since we have said that dating can affect zake. There are people who will say, okay, it's not about, it is about how we use it. So the poison is in the portion. If you focus so much on the dating, itakuja kuwa na negative effect. So let me, there even people will say, okay, now I have understood this is what is right. Lakini sitaki kuambia hivyo nataka kumuoa juu naogopa ataanza kuna hiyo fear. So in that case I hold back and say wacha nisome only for some boy kunipita. That fear, how do you address that fear of sitaki nikuambie just yet so that tuseme so that is the plan. Okay, how do you address that fear?
The fear, personally I don't think ladies ndio wanakwanga na fear. Most of the time it's usually the guys who have the fear. I think the fear comes in with the previous effects of rejection, and you have not gotten over the hurt. And the reason why people have previous effects of rejection and hurt is because they went on doing what? Dating. And so if you can be able to get through that, first and foremost, heal. Before even you start pursuing someone else, heal as a person. After you've healed, you will not have a problem telling someone, I actually want to marry you. It might not be today or tomorrow, but at the end of this time that you're spending together, I would really love to marry you because I love you as a person and your character impresses me, as in it is what I want to have in my house.
Sam, is it possible to court somebody but don't end up marrying them?
Yes, I want just to bring it in this perspective. How many couples have spent 5 years and they have a breakup, and in 2 months the lady or the guy is married to another person? And I want us to get this. When you have the fear that someone is going to submarine me and get someone else, it means one, you are not sure of what you're not sure of what you actually want in life.
Is
and
it about me or the lady?
No, it's about all of us, because you haven't involved
like this, like this, mimi niko hapa as a gentleman. I'm all this gentleman good attributes to Yvonne. Yani, or taking out and everything. Let's explain it. I'm all this, Sijamwambia nataka kumuoa. Yes. But then I've laid down all the cues that you're saying. Sasa wewe Sami beshte yangu umeona nimeng'ang'ana. Nimelima, alafu nakuja unatokea tu hapo.
But this is what happens. That's why I was coming to this point. I learned that in the previous session that you had with guys, we learned about love and lust. And we struck a difference between the two. And we learned that something, if it's indeed worth it as God wills it to be, then you'll never be afraid even if someone takes that person. Simply because even in the Bible, we know that God in himself has a will in giving us the people we are to spend the rest of our lives with. And for a better fact, it's because these will be people that even if they're with someone, you are comfortable because you know that God cares and is taking care of everything. So I definitely won't be worried probably if I'm courting a lady or a midand, you see another guy there trying his stuff and you're like, I feel insecure. No, you will be safe because one, God is taking care. And I just want to correct it in this manner. Tunakuwa rigid. tunakuwa rigid. If at all your parent gave you while you were studying, alikuwa anakuambia I will not buy your bike unless you pass. What you actually were looking upon is working upon your passing for you to get that prize. So, in this sense, if I am a gentleman, of which I am, I will work. Skiza. You'll definitely have to ask that question. So, you always, we talked about love. Love looks not at only the physical attributes, but looks at what it brings later. So nisikize, ndio nakwambia. Okay, on a personal experience, sikia, wacha nikwambie hii sector ya kuslice. By the way, slicing is real. Mimi sijawahi slice, lakini nimesliceiwa. Look at it in this sector. Nimesliceiwa yenyewe. And it's this manner. I understand.
You understand the pain mwanaume kisema, let me not throw the towel into the ring.
But listen, I got something from the slicing in itself. It makes you to notice that probably whatever you are clinging on was not actually yours. And skiza, listen. Kama by the way, if whatever you are clinging was supposed to be yours, then you siku uliwahi date mara ya kwanza ungeshikililia mpaka mwisho when you're supposed to be. I want you to get this, get this feeling,
mpaka view understand.
And that's what I'm trying to najaribu kukwambia na haupati. It's cause like najua sahi hii kukuuliza naweza kukuuliza swali simple, you have dated, yes. But not with a lady, but niulize like, okay, naweza sema a number of, not one. So this is what I'm saying. If at all unasema feeling ya kuslaisiwa is something that, so then ule wa kwanza mwenye ulimdate, you would have clinged on to that person mpaka wa leo to the point of marriage.
I think let me make it clear. Kuna mtu mwenye ameslaisiwa ama umeslaisiwa na unfortunately after man so nasema udiliza kumbe hata akona je kuoga ama kuosha miguu. Now that's what I'm talking about. Kwa sababu the people kuna watu wenye wataslaisiwa they like
so basically you are looking at what we call denial, so that or rejection.
Denial syndrome.
Yeah, because you know it's more or less like sazile mlikuwa na yeye, si mtu anasemanga most of the times like I want to relate this to ladies. A guy will say that basically akiwa na wewe huko unaona yeye ni mzuri, lakini wakati mmeachana unaona alikuwa na kitu but utaanza kusema kuna miguu ya punda, farasi. You see, it's you're not able to actually face the reality that it has to offer. Please, and that
you're coming to end your final remarks. Dating versus courtship.
Yes, my final remarks is this. Jeremiah 9:23 tells us that let him that glorieth in this, that he loveth and knows God. So when you know God and you know the will of God, definitely, then you know the purpose that he actually offers for you. And then Psalm 66:18 says that if I regard iniquity in my heart, the Lord will not hear. So if your purpose was to court that person in the act of marriage and you regard iniquity in your heart, then you definitely won't submit to the will and the wishes of your heart until you let him and allow him work with that.
Sam, sasa tusionge jumalize hivyo. Sisi tusionge. Yvonne.
Personally, I believe that we are all like flowers. And the more you give your heart to someone, it's like removing a petal from a flower. The more you remove a petal, by the time you're getting to the person you're marrying, you'll end up giving a stalk. And I wouldn't want you to actually share a stalk with your partner. Make sure you give them an entire flower.
Sasa na wewe kwani
get a life.
No, okay, so I don't date because I don't want to give up a petal.
Shauri yako, see your life.
Basically it's what you give. Don't love everything and give everything. You give so hey, sawa tu Bona, you're winding short. Na tafadhali please, isikuwe unaangalia unaonea boy child. Bona.
Sionei boy child. Yeah. My concluding remarks will be that in everything that we do in our relationships, let us remember that we are to do everything to the honor and glory of God. Let nothing be said or done that you will not want anyone else out there to hear. Hizi mambo za kufanya vitu chini ya maji siri siri, hapana, tuache. Let us be open and let us do things that will edify us, that will work in our favor.
Thank you. Hey, asante sana. Thank you. I was afraid. What came after here? I was afraid. Now, Elder, as we wind up, your parting shots.
Thank you so much. The session has been very enriching. I've learned quite so many things. And I want to say that unless we submit ourselves to God,
Amen.
there is nothing we can do. And then number 2, whatever we've talked about will affect us in this life and in the life to come. So we must be careful. We must study. We must always ask ourselves a question. Is whatever I'm doing, if God could be here where I am, could he commend that my son, my daughter, what you're doing is right? Let's avoid the situationships. Let us wait. I want to finish by saying Adam did not see that he was alone. It is God who said and saw that Adam was alone. And so God said, I will make for him a suitable and a comparable helper. So as we are in this life, we may see, we may need, but that which we don't have at the moment, it means we don't need it. That which we need, God has provided. So in his best time, he will do because he has promised in the scripture. May God bless us all.
Amen.
Thank you. I'm thinking on how we are going to conclude this show without me saying my final remarks, but vile mmemaliza wase. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for your insights. Please tell us what you think about today's discussion. We've been talking about dating versus courtship. We of course ruled out the whole point of dating because of its harmful effects, and we have also brought out the positives of courtship. Our Facebook handles for you to interact with us is Hope Channel Kenya, and on Twitter is at Hope_Kenya. You can also find me on Facebook, Samo Mangi, and on Twitter at Sami Mangi. If you missed this show, it's going to be on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Hope Channel Kenya. You can also find us on our website www.hck.co.ke, and the numbers that are on your screen are for you to tell us what you think about today's show. Until next time, I've been your host, and I'm blessed that you've been with us. Stay blessed.